everybody, this is Angela, and you're listening to Five Picks and a Chick featuring El Gato. This is the podcast that gives you five NFL picks for people who love football and friendly wagering. However, of course, y'all all know we are in the off season, so we're going to talk NBA Finals. Hey,
Wow.
Gato, guess what?
Tell me.
Last, last podcast, you went 2-0. Yay! I went 1-1. I'll take
All
it.
right. Yeah.
So both of us so far, for the off-season record, we're both 8 wins, 12 losses. So who knows? Hopefully this one will get some 2 wins and at least bring that up a little bit.
A little bit, right? I mean, the NBA is tough. That's not our expertise, but it's kind of fun to do it in the off season. Keeps us busy, keeps our podcast going, and then we can always give the official countdown to the real and the only sport in the world, and that's the NFL.
I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so today, since it's just the NBA Finals, we're going to talk about the first game because we know the spread and we know the over/under. So we'll give our opinion on the spread and the over/under. But
Yeah.
then you can also throw in, who you think might win the whole thing. Kind of touch on that a little
Yeah.
bit. The NBA Finals game one. So it's, of course, Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers that are in the finals. So Pacers are getting 9.5 in this game. The
Mm.
over under is 230. That's a lot of points, I know, but we're going to talk about that. And so what I'm gonna go with the Pacers getting the points plus 9.5. And on this one, I think 230 is a lot for this first game. So I'm gonna go with the under. And so I'll kind of tell you why that is. So with Oklahoma City, they are minus 700 to win the series, which is actually the second best favorite in the NBA Finals in the last 20 years. I don't know if you knew that stat, but that's pretty amazing, right?
It is.
Minus 700. So that, you know what that means, not to interrupt you. That
Yeah.
means you would have to place a bet for $700 just to win 100. So I don't know how much value there is there, but that's what you would have to do.
Yeah. Risk reward. But getting back to those odds, that just goes to show how Vegas thinks or how dominating they think the Thunder will be in this series. That then, to me, they're looking at a 4-1 series, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
A lot of
and
people are predicting that.
yeah, in 5 games,
Hmm.
a sweep will be kind of unusual the way the Pacers have been playing. But getting back, yeah, the Thunder, they've had a dominating playoff run. They beat the Grizzlies 4-0. They are really challenged to the brink with the Nuggets. With Joker and Murray there, they won that series 4-3, and then they surprisingly handled the Timberwolves, who would I thought it'd go 7 games, to tell you the truth, and then whoever showed up in that seventh game would win the series. But they manhandled the Wolves 4-1. I don't think it was even close. Even the game that the Wolves won, which was a rout, if I remember correctly,
Yes.
it just seemed like
Good point.
OKC was taking a break
Yeah.
just to just to end it the next go round, the next
I
game.
don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know. Thunder, they do have SGA, who, he's not only the leading scorer in the NBA, but he also won the MVP, also for the conference game. So, and OKC actually has the top rated defense in the NBA. I think that kind of explains why they dominated so much. Here they've got SGA, they've got a great defense. And I know both teams do, but Thunder has a deep bench and Pacers do as well. But
yeah.
here's another stat for you. Since January 1st, Thunder has had the best record in the NBA, and Indiana has had the second best record. So, I mean, it kind of looks like we've got the two best teams that are playing in the finals. Indiana has a fast style of basketball, I feel like,
Yeah.
and I think that's going to help them in this game one, getting 9.5, because think about it. Thunder has not played a game in 8 days, like over a week. They haven't played a game in 8 days.
Yeah. That could
So,
produce rustiness, almost similar to, say, a hot team towards the end of an NFL season. They get the bye week, and you know how rusty they sometimes start off in that first playoff game that they face. So, could be something similar. Also in baseball, it happens in
yeah.
baseball. So that's something to watch for. That's a good point. Good point you
Yeah,
raised. They haven't played in over a week.
over a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think OKC is going to win this series just like everyone else does. Pretty easily, but I think Indiana get 9.5 in this game one. I think they're going to do really well. The one thing Thunder does is create turnovers, and we saw that with the Timberwolves. I kept asking myself, because I was rooting for the Timberwolves, of course, and I kept asking myself, why are they turning over the ball so much? My goodness, protect the ball. Well, it's the Thunder that creates those
Yeah.
turnovers. They're going to be the same way with Indiana. So Indiana really has to protect the ball in this game. Not and they usually do. They usually do a pretty good job of protecting the ball. They've got to be better. Halliburton has to come out every game,
Yeah.
not
Take
just,
a night
oh,
off.
yeah, not this game. He's got to play like Siakam plays. That's why he got MVP because
Yeah.
he showed up every game. Halliburton, oh, one game he did well, one game he didn't. And it could
Mhm.
be the defense on the other team, but he's got to figure out a way to come around that defense and play a really good offensive game. Pacers will need him. Pacers, like I said earlier, they do have a fast game. I think actually Pacers have the third lowest turnover rate, so they do protect the ball. That will help them. But like I said, though that Thunder team, man, they create those turnovers.
I agree. I mean, defensively, from what I've watched of the Thunder, defense takes effort, and a lot of NBA teams uh, in the past, or even this new era of NBA teams, you don't see a whole lot of tough defense. Arms extending, blocking passing lanes, playing the ball, even when the guard of the opposing team starts to cross mid-court. I mean, they're on them. So that does take effort. With the Pacers and their fast game, like you mentioned, that the Thunder could cause problems in that bread and butter transition game that the Pacers use to, take the Knicks out and take the other teams out, the Cavs especially. Earlier, Cavs were ranked number one in the Eastern Conference. They took them out, four games to one. But getting back to OKC and their defense, and I think almost like in the NFL, defense wins championships.
Yeah.
The Thunder are going to be a tough out unless they just totally collapse because they've got those two. They've got you know two players that can really control the boards, can really box out, get the offensive rebounds, get defensive rebounds. And to your point earlier, the best players on the Pacers, Halliburton and Siakam, if they don't produce, then they're not. They don't have the offensive skill players that can come off the bench to replace those points that those two players provide. And if OKC shuts down both of them, it's definitely over. If they shut down even one player, then it becomes very challenging, I think, for the Pacers to make this a decent series. But Pacers got there by dominating who they played, the Bucks, the Cavs, and then a really tough series with the Knicks. That was a fun series to watch.
That was.
I kind of wanted the Knicks to advance a little bit because I've got a couple of players that I really like on the Knicks team, Brunson especially. But he played his ass off, but the team couldn't get it done
I
with
didn't
him.
appreciate the headbutt. I mean, come on, Brunson, you're better than that.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the heat of the competition and
At that point, it
frustration.
was nothing. There
Yeah,
was game over.
frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah, frustrations kind of
Yeah.
creep in.
It happens. We're all human.
But the 9.5 that the Pacers are getting, I'm going to go with that one as well. And I'm going to go out on a limb and take the over 230.
Okay.
I think I think both teams are going to show up offensively. Uh, maybe get to a 120, 115 type of game, which would take it over the 230. So I'm going to count on the Pacers keeping pace, continuing their offensive uh, good percentage in field goals. The Thunder, I'm going to say that with their layoff, maybe they won't be as aggressive defensively. It may take them till the second half to catch their legs and catch their rhythm, but by that time, hopefully enough points are scored to get me to the over, right, or make the over more manageable. And I'm going to go with the Pacers minus 9.5. I'm hoping this is at least a 6-game series, but to the point I made earlier, if the Thunder can shut down one or two of those Pacers players, and then with the Thunder's defense, the way they've demonstrated the whole playoff series, how they can just shut down people.
Yeah.
See what happens. We'll
Yeah.
see.
So you're going with the Pacers plus 9.5 and the over 230?
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, I have
And
a
that's,
little stat for you that might
yep.
make you feel better about that pick as well. In this postseason, Pacers are 3-0 in game ones.
All right. I'll take
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'll
So
take
they ain't scared of game ones. They
that.
ain't scared of the Thunder.
You know what though? In the season series though, this series they went 0-2. I read. Uh, 1 point total was about at 220, I believe. It was like a 112 to 113 or 117 game. I could be wrong on that. So I briefly looked over it before we got on camera, but 0-2 the season, but still being able to score some points against the Thunder. I'm gonna like that over 230. And like I say, I hope it's a good series. Hope it goes at least 6.
Yeah.
Make it interesting, right?
Yeah.
Occupy, at least half the month of June, right? Keep us
Yeah.
busy, and then an NFL training camp starts.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, but I don't think this finals is quite what the NBA hoped for, the two
I know.
teams, but I still think it will be interesting. I hope they do get a viewership because I think these are going, if they play, I think it's going to be a very evenly matched series
Yeah.
if both teams produce. And of course, everybody says that, but if
Yeah.
they can play at the level that they're capable
Yeah.
of playing, I think it will be a good series. So
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
hoping that too. And I guess to your point about the NBA at large being disappointed with the matchup. Yeah, because they wanted that entire New York market, East Coast market to be engaged in these finals. I'm sure they wanted a West Coast team, Golden State, the Lakers to be in it also. But you know what? They didn't win.
yeah,
We have a couple of Midwest teams, uh, making it to the finals, and that's who's going to be watching the series. I'm sure people on both left coast and right coast are going to be watching, but it won't be with the same enthusiasm, I think. So to your point, wasn't maybe the matchup the NBA wanted, but it is what it is, right?
yeah. I do believe that it's the two best teams in the NBA that are there playing in the finals. So
Let's
yeah,
see. I'm hoping tonight's a good start to the series, a competitive game. So we'll see.
yeah, and kind of like you said, man, give us some games because it gets us through June and at least half of June, and then you've got training camp for the NFL, and guess what? September 4th. We're only 90 days from NFL kickoff. Can you believe that? 90 days. Remember when we were at 200?
I know that's depressing.
It was. Now
I
90
needed
is.
I needed therapy just about so
Hey,
long, so long for that.
what do you think about that first game coming out? Cowboys and Eagles.
That's going to be very interesting. I'm counting on the. Oh well, is it a Monday night game or Sunday
It's a
night game? What
the
is
first game, Thursday night,
Thursday
September
night?
4th.
Right now, growing up, I was a Cowboys fan even into my adulthood. Now I don't know until they can show they can produce. I'm kind of now I'm sounding like a bandwagon guy, right? Going with the team that plays the best. But I don't know. I just don't like the brand of football they've played over the last 10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
So go Birds.
Go Birds. I'm with you there. Of course, you know why I'm a Go Birds.
Yeah.
I just don't think Cowboys have any chance in this Thursday night game. But I'm a Cowboy fan too, and I know
Yeah.
that's so contradictory because
I
that's who
know.
I grew up with from birth. That's all I knew
Yeah.
was Cowboys, you know? So it's tough for me, but luckily I have someone that's in my life that is a true blue Eagle fan from birth. And so at least I can say, well, I'm kind of supporting him as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So
Win-win. Win-win
it's a
situation.
win-win all the way
Yeah.
around.
Same here. You know, if the Eagles happen to blow the game and Cowboys win, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
All
Cowboys win.
right.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll all be, like the typical cowboy fan. Oh, this is the year.
yeah, this is the year. Now we're cooking.
Oh, yeah. Until game two.
Until game two, we're like, okay,
Uh,
the Cowboys are who we thought they were,
who we
right?
thought they were, yes. Well, I hope they have a better season. I really do. I hope they have a better season.
We'll see. See what
Yep.
happens. New coach, right? New coach,
Yep.
a new couple of new receivers, a couple of additions to the defensive line. I know this is NBA finals here, but now we're talking
I
football,
know.
which is okay with me, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll see what the Cowboys can do. They're
Yeah.
probably, I'm thinking, the third best team in that division, that conference, the NFC East, behind the Eagles and the Commanders, and maybe just neck and neck with the Giants. That's
Yeah.
not saying much, but
Oh, not at
yeah,
all. Not at
we'll
all.
see.
I think
We'll see.
Commanders will have a good year.
That's going to be my sleeper team in the NFC East. You know, if Jaden Daniels can stay upright, stay healthy, and continue on with what they did towards the end of the year, and making that playoff run that they did.
Yeah.
You know, they have a good coach. We'll see. See what happens.
Yep. We will see what happens. And think about it. We're just a few weeks from our preseason football meeting. So that's something to look forward to.
Yep. Heck yeah, for sure.
All right. Any other final thoughts, El Gato?
No, just that these NBA finals came up pretty quick on us, and here we are, game one tonight. Thunder expected by a lot of the prognosticators to just dominate this series, but they still have to play the game. You know, those get on the court, and let's see what team can overcome whatever challenges, whatever runs each team makes. Because there's going to be a run of a 10-0 run, 12-0 run. It always happens.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see which team will fold or continue to play on and fight, and then turn it into a real game and a real series. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be hopefully it'll be a good series. And
Yeah.
anything can happen, always in sports. Anything
Yes.
can happen. Well, if you've made it to this point in our podcast, we just want to thank you. Be sure to tell your friends about us. Also hit the subscribe and like button on our YouTube channel at 5 Picks and a Chick. You can also find us wherever you get your favorite podcast. As always, thank you to El Gato for being part of 5 Picks and a Chick. 1, 2, 3, bet. And that's a wrap.
All right.